Good morning, cadets. We are just continuing whatever it was discussed yesterday. That is very important property of fluids in motion. That is viscosity. The resistance to the flow of fluid in motion is just like friction between the solid surfaces. Whenever there is a relative motion between the fluid layers, then a force of drag which opposes the relative motion of the layers of the liquid is called as viscous force. Now we are discussing the coefficient of viscosity. As we have considered the example, consider there are two slides, glass slides. In between these two glass slides, we have taken a liquid of thickness L. Let L be the thickness of this liquid, and the upper surface of the glass is applied with a force F. The upper surface of the glass, the upper glass slide is pushed with the force F, so that the glass slide is set into motion with velocity v, keeping the lower glass slide fixed. The lower glass slide is not moved, it is kept fixed. Then we have discussed what happens to the fluid. Consider this is the shape of the fluid when it is set into motion by applying force F. In this direction, the upper plate surface undergoes a motion with velocity v. Earlier, before applying force, the shape of the fluid was ABCD. Shape of the fluid was ABCD. Now, due to the application of force, in a small interval of time t, delta t, the slide has moved through a distance delta x. When the slide moves through a distance delta x, then the shape of the liquid between the two slides becomes AEFD. AEFD. This is the shape after a small interval of time delta t. In this small interval of time delta t, the liquid has moved through a lateral displacement of delta x. Now, when it is set into motion, then we will find the velocity of the liquid just a layer below the glass slide will be moving with velocity v. Then there is a change in shape. When there is a change in shape due to applied force, now we can relate the shearing stress with the shearing strain. Here, when the liquid is in motion with velocity v, then we know the strain. The strain will not be fixed here. Strain is delta x by L. Delta x by L gives us strain. This strain is not fixed. It is undergoing change in strain. So, rate of change of strain we call as strain rate. So, we apply here the relation between the stress, shear stress, the shear strain. As we have discussed earlier, shear stress is the restoring force per unit area due to change in shape. When a tangential force is applied, the tangential force applied per unit area is equal to shear stress, which tends to change the shape. Therefore, in case of fluids in motion, it is interesting to see that the shear stress is found to be directly proportional to strain rate. Because the fluid is in motion. Therefore, what we write here, delta x, delta x is equal to v delta t, velocity multiplied by the time interval delta t, that is equal to delta x. So this is the shape in time delta t. In next interval of time it will be further changing. Means the strain is not constant. The strain is undergoing change with respect to time. That's what we have written strain rate with respect to time. The shear stress, that is force per unit area, is directly proportional to strain rate. This is the case for fluids in motion, right? So we know that shear stress is given by F upon A, tangential force per unit area, which is directly proportional to strain rate, delta x by L into delta t, where delta t is the time taken for this change of shape, right? So this is how we write shear stress directly proportional to shear strain rate. Shear strain rate. Now, if you take out this proportionality sign, we get a constant. That constant is denoted by eta. It looks like n, but n is elongated bit, so it is eta. This is called as constant of proportionality, and this is further called as coefficient of viscosity. So coefficient of viscosity into delta x by delta t into L. Delta x by delta t into L. Now this can be further written as eta. Now we can define what is this constant of proportionality, where eta is called constant of proportionality, which is termed as coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity. So now we can write what is coefficient of viscosity. Therefore, coefficient of viscosity eta is equal to F by A divided by delta x by delta t into L. Delta x by L, you know, delta x by L is the strain. Delta x by L divided by t. Delta x by L divided by delta t gives us strain rate. So now we can write strain rate. So this is how we write shear stress divided by strain rate. Now delta x by L, if you look at this, delta x by delta t gives us the velocity v. So we can write the denominator as v by L. So same thing, I can write it as F by A into v by L, where v is the velocity, where v is delta x by delta t is the velocity of fluid inflow. Velocity of fluid inflow, right? Therefore, eta is equal to F by A divided by V by L. Further, this can be still simplified as FL divided by AB. FL divided by AB. So based on this, we can find out what is the SI unit of the coefficient of viscosity. SI unit of coefficient of viscosity is termed as Poiseuille, named after the scientist Poiseuille. SI unit of coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity is Poiseuille. Poiseuille. It is denoted as PL. In short, it is denoted as PL. Then we can find out what is the dimension of PL. Okay. What is the dimension of PL? So that can be found out using this equation. We can find out the dimensions of coefficient of viscosity. You see, dimension of force, we know ml p raised to minus 2, and dimension of length, it is L divided by dimension of area, L square, dimension of velocity, L t raised to minus 1, L t raised to minus 1, t raised to minus 1 comes to the numerator. So thus it becomes m L raised to 1 minus 2 becomes L raised to minus 1, then t raised to minus 2, and L 1 L cancels here, 1 L cancels here, you are left with L raised to minus 1, and this t goes to the numerator, so it becomes t raised to minus 1. So this is the dimensions of coefficient of viscosity. And one Poiseuille is written in terms of this mechanical units, kg per meter per second, kg per meter per second. So this can be also written in terms of Newton. You see 1 meter cancels here, okay. Newton second per meter square. Newton second per meter square is equal to 1 Poiseuille. 1 Poiseuille is equal to Newton second per meter square. Okay, this is how we get a new SI rate, that is of viscosity. So this viscosity is usually measured in millipoiseuille. 1 millipoiseuille, it is 10 to the power of minus 3 poiseuille. Let us see some of the examples of the viscosity of the liquids. For example, the less viscous liquids, as we discussed yesterday, kerosene, water, alcohol, these are less viscous liquids. Then glycerine, then honey, glycerine, honey, coal tar, these are thick liquids which are more viscous liquids. So the ones which are having more viscosity are having high value of coefficient of viscosity, and the ones which are thin liquids, less viscous liquids, they are having less value of coefficient of viscosity. Okay, let us study some of the examples. Now look at some of the values of the coefficient of viscosity. The coefficient of viscosity is also usually termed as viscosity itself. It is taken in millipoiseuille. First, water at 20 degrees Celsius, it has 1 millipoiseuille. It's very interesting. Water at 20 degrees Celsius has 1 millipoiseuille, whereas at 100 degrees Celsius, boiling water, it has got only 0.3 millipoiseuille. It means for liquids like water, machine oil, blood, kerosene, petrol, for liquids, as the temperature increases, viscosity decreases. This is interesting observation. For liquids, as temperature increases, the viscosity decreases, and vice versa. On the other hand, as you decrease the temperature from high temperature to low temperature, the viscosity increases. How do you explain this? Viscosity is explained based on the molecular bonding. As we increase the temperature, interatomic or intermolecular bonding decreases. The interatomic force or intermolecular force decreases. As a result, the molecules gain more and more kinetic energy. The molecules tend to move more freely. As the molecules tend to move more freely, the liquids become more and more thin. The liquids become thinner and thinner. As a result, the viscosity decreases. Intermolecular attractive force decreases and the kinetic energy of the molecules increases. As a result, the viscosity decreases as we increase the temperature. Similarly, blood at 37 degrees Celsius, normal human body temperature, 37 degrees Celsius, 2.7 millipoise. Even from 0 to 37 degrees Celsius, the relative viscosity of blood doesn't vary very much. It remains almost same, 2.7. That is very important thing. Even though the temperature changes from 0 to 37 degrees Celsius, the relative viscosity of the blood remains same. Relative viscosity is defined as, you can just write relative viscosity. Relative viscosity as, relative viscosity is defined as viscosity of the liquid divided by viscosity of the water. Viscosity of water at 20 degrees Celsius is 1 millipoise. So if you take the ratio, that gives you a number. That number is called as relative viscosity. So relative viscosity of blood is 2.7 millipoise. Millipoise will also be not there. It is just 2.7 because millipoise cancels. 2.7 between 0 degrees Celsius to 37 degrees Celsius. This is an interesting fact. That's how human body will sustain even low temperatures usually. Okay. Then machine oil, very interesting thing. At low temperature like 16 degrees Celsius, at early morning, 16 degrees Celsius, it's having very high value, 130 millipoise. At 38 degrees Celsius, it just becomes 34 millipoise. So it's quite common experience for all of us. When you just start the bike early in the morning, it will not start immediately. If it is having kick start, you need to kick some 3-4 times or 5-6 times. Once the oil gets circulated throughout the engine, when the oil gets circulated, then the oil gains kinetic energy. Then what happens? Its temperature rises. As the temperature rises, because of more kinetic energy, as temperature rises, its viscosity decreases. So as temperature rises, viscosity decreases. Once the vehicle starts, then automatically the engine temperature increases. Then the circulation of the machine oil in the interior parts of the engine will be very smooth, and then afterwards there will be no much problem. For second time, third time, it will be starting immediately. There is no much problem. So at low temperature, viscosity of machine oil is very high, 130 millipoise. At high temperatures, like 38 degrees Celsius, it will be 34 millipoise. Glycerin, see, these are all, we can say, thin liquids having low viscosity. Now we look at this glycerin and honey. Glycerin and honey are thick liquids. Thick liquids, they are having high values of the viscosity. At about 20 degrees Celsius, viscosity of glycerin is 830 millipoise, whereas honey is having 200 millipoise. So these are all about the liquids. Now look at the gas. The gases are having different behavior. It is exactly reverse. As look at the gas like air. Air at 0 degrees Celsius is having 0.013 millipoise. 0.013 millipoise. But as temperature rises to about 40 degrees Celsius, as the temperature of the air becomes 40 degrees Celsius during daytime, hot sunny day time, 40 degrees Celsius, the viscosity becomes 0.019. It means for gases, as temperature rises, viscosity rises. This is a very interesting thing. For gases, as temperature rises, viscosity also increases. As temperature decreases, viscosity decreases. This is for gases. See, this is the difference between the property of viscosity for gases and liquids. How do you explain this? As I told you, for liquids, as temperature increases, the kinetic energy of the molecules increases. As a result, the molecules gain more and more energy and they become more free, and thus the interatomic bonding, intermolecular bonding between the molecules decreases and the viscosity decreases. The liquids become more and more thin. Whereas in case of gases, what happens? This is very interesting thing. As the temperature of the gas increases, as temperature of gas increases, say from 0 to 40 degrees Celsius, then already the gaseous molecules are at far away distances. The intermolecular attractive force is almost nil. They are almost having maximum energy already. As temperature increases, the gaseous molecules will become more and more energetic and they start colliding among themselves. Collision among the gaseous molecules become more often. You can write it because collisions among the gaseous molecules become more often. Means the molecules collide more often. The number of collisions occurring per second increases. That is what we can say. Number of collisions occurring per second increases. As the number of collisions of gaseous molecules increase more oftenly, then gaseous molecules become, the gaseous state becomes more thick and viscosity increases. This is how we explain for gases. For liquids, as I told you, the reason is because kinetic energy of molecules increase and intermolecular bonding. Intermolecular bonding means intermolecular attractive force decreases. As a result, the molecules will start moving more and more randomly with more and more energy and the viscosity decreases. This is how it is explained. Thus, the viscosity of gases increases. Gases become more thick, or thus gases become thick and viscous. Here, liquids become thin and viscosity decreases. This is how one has to explain. So, this is a reasoning type question. What is the temperature dependence of gases and liquids? The liquids, the viscosity of liquids increases as temperature increases. Viscosity of liquids decreases as temperature increases, whereas viscosity of gases increases as temperature increases. Explain fine. Okay, this is the reason. Now, based on this observation and all, let us solve one problem, that is problem on calculation of coefficient of viscosity. Just now we got coefficient of viscosity as FL upon AB, where F upon A is the shear stress and V upon L is the strain rate. V upon L is Look at this problem. A metal block of area 0.1 meter square. This is a metal block whose surface area in contact with the table surface is having 0.1 meter square. It is connected to a 0.1 kg mass, 0.1 kg mass through a string that passes over an ideal pulley. This is the pulley. It is ideal pulley, means it is massless and frictionless, considered to be massless and frictionless. With the help of a string, it is connected to 0.01 kg mass. Okay. A liquid with a thin film of about 0.3 mm. Here, between the block surface and the table surface, a liquid of thickness 0.3 mm, 0.3 mm thickness. You can take L is equal to 0.3 mm thickness is taken. 0.3 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter thickness of liquid film is taken, right? It is placed between the block and the table surface. When this load is released, when this load of 0.01 kg is released, the block moves to the right. When this is released, the block moves to the right with a constant speed of V equal to 0.085 meter per second. It moves with a constant speed of 0.085 meter per second. Find the coefficient of viscosity of the liquid. Okay. Now, here is the surface of the block and here is the table surface. Between the table surface and the block surface is a liquid film of thickness 0.3 mm. This is what we are interested in. When this is set into motion, right, then the liquid also is slowly undergoing shear stress. So we need to calculate shear stress that take place in the liquid and strain rate we have to calculate. So what is the shear force? Let us calculate. The shear force that is acting here is due to the weight that is exerted. So shear stress. First we will write shear force, not the shear stress, shear force. Shear force, which is responsible for shear stress, F is equal to here, which is equal to weight of this load of the mass. This weight of the load of mass pulls this vertically downwards, which is again exerting a tangential force. The force exerted on the block is exactly equal to the magnitude of the weight. Shear force is equal to magnitude of the weight M into G. That is equal to magnitude of the weight is given by mass 0.01 kg into acceleration due to gravity 9.8. This becomes the shear stress. So you can write 9.8 into 10 to the power of minus 2 Newton. 9.8 into 10 to the power of minus 2 Newton. Now, what is the surface area? Surface area we need to calculate. So thickness is given, right? And surface area of the block is given. Yes. Surface area of the block. Surface area of the block is equal to surface area of the liquid film. A equal to 0.10 meter square. Now we can calculate shear stress. Therefore, shearing stress or shear stress is equal to F by A. F is 9.8 into 10 raised to minus 2 whole divided by area. Area is 0.10 meter square. 0.10. So that becomes shear stress. We can write it as 9.8 into 10 raised to minus 1 If you take it to the numerator, it becomes 10 raised to minus 1. Okay. Now shear strain rate. Strain rate. Directly right, as we worked out earlier, is equal to V by L. V is given 0.085 divided by L. L is the thickness of the liquid film, 0.3 mm. So that is 3 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter. Now we can calculate coefficient of viscosity. Therefore, coefficient of viscosity of the liquid film, eta equal to F by A divided by V by L. So this I can write it as F by A. Already we have calculated 9.8 into 10 raised to minus 1 divided by V by L. V by L is 0.085 divided by, so this goes to the numerator, divided by 3 into 10 to the power of minus 3. 3 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So if you calculate this becomes the coefficient of viscosity. 3.46 into 10 raised to minus 3 Newton second per meter square. Newton second per meter square is Poisson, which is nothing but Poisson. Or you can write directly eta equal to 3.46 milliPoisson. Millipoisson, right? And one more way also you can express Poisson. See here, Newton per meter square. Newton per meter square is Pascal. So we can also write this one as 3.46 into 10 raised to minus 3 Pascal second. Pascal second. Pascal second. So Pascal 1 Poisson is also equal to 1 Pascal second. So this is another way of expressing the coefficient of viscosity. Finally, eta is equal to 3.46 milliPoisson. This is how we make use of the given relation of coefficient of viscosity with shear stress and strain rate. Okay. In the next video, we will discuss a very important property, that is surface tension. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.